Welcome to Two Sisters Podcast with your hosts, Kristy and Melissa, who are real sisters bringing you real talk about life and faith through humor, insight, and community. Now, let's get into this week's episode.
Hey guys, it's Melissa
and Kristy,
and welcome to Two Sisters Podcast. So, I don't know, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good. I am. I've been thinking a lot of thoughts lately.
Thoughts? Okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of thoughts lately, and I don't know if I'm necessarily ready to share them with the world.
Well, all right. I don't know if that's. I don't know what that means, but so. You know, this is one of those type of days that we just basically turned on the mic. It wasn't pre-planned. It's never scripted, actually. And so we just wanted to come and share and talk to you. But since Kristy decided she don't want to share what's on her mind, okay, I have a couple of rolling thoughts in my head as well. One being the way that we speak over people, you know, expectations that you have of people and of yourself, and just the fact that when people don't do as you expected or you thought, just the emotion that comes with that. So this week has been a couple of different emotions for me. And I'm always talking to my clients about, you know, putting words with your emotions. So for me this week, it has been a few disappointing moments, which, you know, I feel like allowed me to grow and also exercise what I teach. So, you know, the thing for me is about how to handle disappointment, how to navigate through emotions that you don't quite understand or know at first, but, you know, just actually processing through the emotions. And then, you know, the next step for me, really, Kristy?
Clear my throat. All right.
The next step for me,
I had to clear my throat.
The next step for me is forgiving. So it's like, you know, remembering that people are doing the best that they can do or best that they know how to do when they make decisions that they make. You know, even though that you wouldn't necessarily make the same decisions, but you never know what people are going through and why they made the decisions they made. And basically, until you have to actually walk in their footsteps, that, you know, you really don't quite know exactly what decisions you would make. You just think at that time that you would probably make a different decision. And whether it's right or wrong, and honestly, I'm learning too that right and wrong thing, what's necessarily right for you in your situation may not be right for the other person in their situation. So it's like, you know, learn how to give grace and have mercy on people, because you will want the same grace and mercy on you. And I think for me, that's why sometimes I do become a little disappointment, only for 0.0002 seconds. But the fact that I am human and I do have feelings, you know, when I do become disappointed, I do literally just what I just told you guys, walk through those same different process and thinking like, okay, they doing what they think that's best, this is their situation, you know, allow grace, see the benefit of the doubt, give them that grace. But and also, no buts, also I will inform you about what you did or said or didn't do or didn't say that disappointed me, because what I'm not going to do and what I've learned as I've grown and matured is that I'm not going to go around harboring feelings about people when they do things to disappoint me. And the other thing too is the forgiveness. Like I said, for going ahead, and even though it may not seem like something that's big or grand, or even if it seems small or minute, you still may need to go through the process to decide to forgive and actually just forgive. And so that's what I had to do a lot of this week. This week has been different in a lot of different ways. So I just wanted to kind of just share that. This is what I would call like power moments on this podcast, this particular moment, because like I said, it wasn't a planned. It's out of the planned topics that we have already lined up for the podcast. So I'm going to title this. That was a long introduction. Power moments, and for me, I'm going to talk about. Well, we're talking about, how to handle disappointment and navigating through, and what I've done to process through disappointment. Kristy, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I do. I've gathered my thoughts.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about love.
Okay.
And, normally I come from a relationship standpoint romantically, but I would just want to talk about love in general.
Mm-hmm.
And my feelings was hurt as well recently this week.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone that I love, two people that I love,
mm-hmm.
my perception of the situation was that one of the two people that I loved deceived and manipulated the other person I loved. And that was my perception. So there was a lot of things going on in the stories I created in my mind based on the limited information that was given to me about the situation between these two people that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was, in my heart and in my mind and in my soul, I was just hurt.
You done?
No, I said I was hurt.
Okay.
And ultimately I was hurt and shed real tears.
Yeah.
Because I put myself in the place of the person I felt was manipulated and deceived.
Mm-hmm.
And because I loved that person so much, I kind of I felt what I thought would be their perceived pain,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that just hurt me because I loved them both.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just was a very emotional situation for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that had me questioning love.
Yeah.
And what I have my own definition of love and how it looks and how it feels.
I think we all do.
Mm-hmm. And then, when you are seeing two people interact, I made the synopsis on whether this particular act showed love between one individual to the other. And I came up with a no. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what hurt me so bad. And that's what caused the tears. And that's what caused me to have a whole conversation with God about it. Really not a whole conversation. I had a half conversation with God about it. Because I know I was supposed to talk to him about my feelings, about my perceptions, mm-hmm. about what I deemed, what I had come to a conclusion, mm-hmm. A verdict rather.
Right.
About this interaction between these two people that I loved. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to talk to him because, I claim to be on Team Jesus. Mm-hmm. So these are the things you need to do and have learned over time, that you need to take these hurts to God. You need to take everything to God.
Yep.
Especially hurt, because then hurt is going to turn into anger, and then anger is going to turn into resentment and bitterness, mm-hmm. and unforgiveness. So I know enough by now to know, okay, let me just take this. But I halfway took it because I still
wanted to hold on to that little piece.
Hold on to my conclusions that I made that this cannot be love. This cannot be love. This scenario, these actions that these two people have taken cannot be love. I thought, person A loved person B. But in my conclusion, person B was deceived and manipulated by person A. So person A cannot love person B. They just can't, because they would not have done this to them.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
That was my conclusion. And that's what hurt me so bad, because of the history that I have, with my loved ones and how I think I know them.
That's the key.
How I think I know
how
them.
You think you know them.
So, like Melissa was saying in the beginning, your expectations of others. And when they don't meet your expectations and when they disappoint you, like, what is that really about? Right? And so all of that was wrapped up in my hurt. Like, I wouldn't even, if this person had exhibited to me in the past, more than one occasion, right? Because everybody's human. Everybody, do shady things every now and then.
Right.
Doesn't make them a bad person. But if I had categorized in my mind that this particular person that I loved was shady, right? Then when the behavior was exhibited this week, I wouldn't have it wouldn't have hurt my feelings. I wouldn't have cried. I wouldn't have to cry out for God. But because they disappointed my expectations of what love looks like and feels like, right? It just threw me, guys. It threw me. When I tell you I had to drive, I was in a parking lot trying to get sunshine and rays and fresh air, talking to the Lord, crying because this situation just threw me. And sunshine and air, fresh air helps me. So I thought that would help, but I was almost devastated. You hear me? I was almost devastated. So when I take a look at it this morning, right?
Fresh perspective.
Well.
Oh no? Another. Okay. Here's
how it works.
Well, all right.
The sun rose, and new grace,
brand new mercies. Yep.
Is given to me.
Yes.
And so, the older I get, I understand why God gives us new grace and new mercy.
Yes.
One day can be so tough.
Jesus. Thank you.
It could be so tough to just make it through that one day.
Yeah.
That you literally have exhausted your grace and mercy for that day because it was a tough day.
Yes.
Like, listen, people. Yes. Life is not roses all the time. But, so today the sun is shining out this beautiful window in this beautiful room that we are doing this podcast in this morning, right? We're sitting on a couch that's comfortable. We have blankets on us. Like, we're blessed. You know what I mean? Like, and ultimately, because my imagination is, a little different. When I woke up this morning, I took the same scenario and I thought about celebrities and culture and how for the longest time, we as a people, and I'm talking about Americans because I haven't lived in another country yet. When celebrities do things and it's revealed to us, we be going through the same emotions as if they are personally in our life. Because we have all of these opinions and perceptions of what they do and don't do. If they're faithful to their spouse, if they're not, if they've been caught in whatever scandal, if they've lied, if they, whatever. We put them on this pedestal. And when they disappoint us and fall off that pedestal, we think we have a right to have an opinion on their life and what they should have did and could have did, and how they're, this immoral, or
how they could have handled it different.
How they could have handled it different, and they're an immoral person, or they are the most moral person
mm-hmm.
that we know, but we don't know them. We don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular situation that I went through this week, I don't know these two people that I say that I love,
and that you knew.
Ultimately, that I do know, that I have known all of my life,
mm-hmm.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
I've known them all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, when I was having that halfway, okay, because he gave me grace and mercy, because I was halfway talking to him because I wanted to be angry, and I was angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I expressed those things to him. And ultimately, my conclusion was yesterday, he was able to come through a little bit. I was, and, what I felt like he was saying, or what I felt like I was realizing in that moment of anguish, was that ultimately only God knows someone's heart.
Yep.
I know I said a lot to get to this point. Ultimately, love, right? Only he knows if somebody really is expressing love, to the true definition of the word that he has given it. And I think I know what love is, but I don't know love like God knows love. And I never will. So I can know it to the fullest of my human capability,
right? That
he will allow me to. Because I'm human, so I can only, there's only so much that I can, there's only so much that can be expressed to me in my human body, is what I mean. Not that I'm limited as far as God's gifts and abilities. I'm not. So don't go there with me, people, okay? So that's what I learned. That is the lesson that I learned this week, that I don't need to be out here judging people, no matter whether I quote unquote know them or not, whether I've known them for 5 years or 50 years. I still don't know enough about a person's heart to judge them and their decisions in life. Because number one, it ain't my life. It's their life.
Yep.
And then another thing I want to bring up. So because of my past in education, I view, strangers, we people watch, right?
Yeah.
So I'll come to conclusions about, what I see when I people watch. And if it involves a child or adolescent, because of my background in education, I have strong opinions. Whereas, my sister, she has those opinions too, but it's coming from a different place. You know what I mean? I analyze it a little bit different when I'm viewing it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know them people. I see something, but I have yet to be a fly on the wall of their home, of their vehicle, of their in their job. I don't know. And so God is just showing me daily that I don't know nothing. You understand me? I think I know, but I don't know. And I cannot judge others through my own lens, my very limited eyes, my ears, my perception, my 5 senses, right? Now, we're not talking about the spirit of discernment, people. So again, okay, we're just talking about regular, everyday senses, because obviously the Holy Spirit will reveal to you spiritual things. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about just living in your body and experiencing earth in your 5 senses and having emotions with having to live on the earth, right, until we go on to glory to be with God. we have to have this human experience. And sometimes this human experience, no matter whether we say we're Jesus believers or not, no matter whether we fast and pray, no matter, if we're whatever the term you want to use or label you want to put, we're still experiencing and we're still limited by our body on this earth. And we need to recall in moments of frustration and disappointment and anger that ultimately we need to commune with God, spirit. And He is our source. Period. And we always have to be in that constant communication with Him so that He can check us when we're tripping. Yep. Okay? Mm-hmm. And He can give us the truth, because Satan will lie to you in those moments. And because you're weak, meaning your feelings are hurt or whatever right. Emotion you're feeling,
right,
is a way for him to get in. Don't
yep.
let him in.
Yep.
Because then it's a slippery slope, right? It's that snowball going down the hill, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So just be aware of your emotions and be aware that you absolutely can have those emotions. You absolutely can cry that out. You absolutely can be angry and talk to God about that, but talk to God about it. Don't shut Him out, and don't have a whole conversation where at the end of it, you really hyped up and think you right when you're probably not. And even if you are right, that's when Melissa was saying you need to go ahead on and forgive. Mm-hmm. Don't hold on to that. I mean, not for a day.
Not for a second.
Not for a day.
Well, I'll give you the second. Not for...
Right. That's why I say a day.
Yeah. Because she needs 24 hours. Yes. Don't do it 24 hours, y'all. Don't.
I said not for a day. I said, excuse me. I said not for a
23
day.
Hours and 59 minutes. Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's my piece.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, it was yeah. So to sum this up, because I'm so determined to keep our thing under 30 minutes. The bottom line is this. Okay. We're all human, having this human experience in this earth, right? And we're all going to face challenges, obstacles, and we all have to navigate through our emotions. I honestly think most of us living this human experience do not know how to navigate through emotions. That is a lot of our problems. People are fearful, people are afraid of other people are jealous of other people, and it's just like, those are emotions that you need to tackle. But that is a whole nother podcast. I'm not going to go there. But you need to know and learn as a mature adult living with other adults in this world. Okay? You just need to know how to handle it. And to sum everything up, you guys, again, I'm gonna take a cue from Tony when he be telling people to listen to it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Like, you just have to listen to it 2 or 3 times, because there was a lot of different nuggets dropped in this episode. But what I want to end with is, it's okay to be angry. Angry. Kristy mentioned the word anguish. I didn't say the word betrayed, but I honestly was disappointed, angry, hurt, and I felt betrayed because, and I, again, being in your 40s, I should have really have learned this, and I have, because like I said, I only was in my feelings 0.0002 seconds. Okay,
I was in my feelings much longer.
Yeah, I'm no. So that 0.20 seconds is because I am who I am, and because I decided to be, I decided to forgive quicker and just try to run through my processes, But in that 0.2 seconds, I'm still, thinking that other people that I hold dear, which honestly is 98% of my family, 98% of them, okay? Because I think that they will treat me like I would treat them. And so that's where the disappointment come in at, because it's like, okay, you made this decision and you felt this way when I have clearly not ever treated you that way or gave you any inclination that I would do this to you. But in your mind, you perceived all of this from what? On what basis? And so for me, I'm just, analyzing, like, how could you even come to that conclusion when I've never displayed that type of behavior to you, said those type of words, or any of that? You know what I mean? Like, so I was confused as to how you came to this conclusion, and you claimed and you felt and you decided all of this decision making and never once come to me. And so, and that other 0.0001 of that second, I'm not understanding as adults how you can't come to me, man to woman, woman to woman, or whatever, and tell me your problem. Okay, I have such a hard time understanding that, because when I tell you that I would tell you how I feel, whether you like it, understand it or not, I'm going to tell you. And that's exactly what I did. Like I told you guys earlier, I did express my feelings and hurt about what you decided or said or didn't say or didn't do. Okay, so anybody who ever come in contact with me will understand that about me. I'm not going to talk about you to other people, and that's what I'm finding out is happening even in my family. Okay, so I don't understand that. So that 0.0002 seconds was all of that. Okay, and then I immediately had my conversation with the Lord, because me, Melissa Magazine, have to lay prostrate before the Lord every day, all day, because my mind and thoughts and heart have to be His, because y'all, okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that one. Now, so it's okay to be angry or feel the emotion. The answer to that is to go to God, to talk to Him. He has to be, like Kristy said, the source. If He is not, if you claim He is the source, then that's what it should be. Okay, period. It begins, ends, and through the middle is Him. Period. Okay. And so remember, like Kristy said, I want to reiterate, remember, only God knows someone's heart. What I find is I need to deal with my own heart and my own self. That's why I don't have time to be distracted and be talking about other people or be in anybody else's business, because I'm too busy with my own mess, okay? And the fact that He has privileged me and granted me the opportunity to be able to speak into other people's lives, I have to maintain with Him my heart, period, because I do not want it to become contaminated or allow the enemy to pollute me, and I'm polluting other people that He's put into my care or into my path to be a blessing to, or to speak life into, or impart information into. So I take that very seriously. The next thing, here's my whole sum up of my power moment. Okay. Love is defined by God, period. It starts with Him, it ends with Him, because ultimately He defines love, and God is love. He's everything else. He's everything, but He is the definition. He is the epitome. He is love. He is love, period. And to know love is to know Him. So if you want to know love, you want to feel love, you want to see love, it is God, period. Now literally put my mouth to the mic on that one, okay? So love is defined by God, because ultimately He defines love, and God is love. And to know love is to know Him. He will reveal love, give love, and show love. Reveal true love, okay? It's our decision to actively receive his love. And that probably needs to be another podcast as well, because it's an action. You have to actually participate in the receiving of it. Okay. And in turn, once we decide to actively receive his love, in turn, we can love others from the overflow of being loved by God. Because, hear me when I say this, because in him, God, there is no deficit. Period. He's not lacking. He is not lacking. He is not lacking anything. And I believe the bottom line to most of our issues is the fact of love. It's something that we're doing for that. Attention, whatever it is. And I'm not going to go off because we are at our 30 minutes, but that's it, guys. That's all I have to say. That's what I wanted to end with. Because in God, in him, there is no deficit. Whatever you need, he has it. And he is love. Period. That void is you needing his love to show you what love really is.
Absolutely. Well, all right, guys. We love you. We want the best for you. And peace. Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Two Sisters Podcast, where we hope to encourage you on your journey of transformation and healing while having fun along the way. Follow us on IG and Twitter. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. It's available on all major podcast providers. Just search for Two Sisters Podcast. Till next time.